Hi, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone from different parts of the world. My name is Shoaib. I'm a student at the College of Future Innovation, Information Technology. So, before I begin, I want to emphasize that everything I'm saying is a personal opinion. It's what I felt while going through admission process. I've been here for over a year and a half, and so yeah, that's all about it. And it's something that will be clearly sort of informal on my end because I want to get my message through as much as possible. So I hope it makes sense to you. Okay, so a brief introduction. I'm Shoaib. I'm from Pakistan. I graduated from University of Engineering and Technology, Texla, if any of you know about it. Okay, so I'm a student of Institute of Intelligent Electronics and Systems. Currently, I'm working on memristors at College of Future Information Technology. So yeah, these are some of the projects which I did back at my alma mater, and these are the ones which got me into Fudan. At least that's what I think. On the right, there's a telescope system, and on the left, I designed a satellite, entire satellite. Well, in the photo, you can see its communication system. So, wait, let me just move it around. Okay. So the number one reason I chose Fudan because there were a number of universities to choose from. In terms of intelligent electronics, Fudan is number one in China. Now, you might have some opinion. Some people might say it's Tsinghua or something, but when you consider the overall international scope, the opportunities you have, so in that terms, yeah, I would 100% say that Fudan is number one. Secondly, when you have to go through Chinese admission process, it's very different across universities. But the best thing I like about Fudan is that they have a holistic approach. Holistic approach basically means they don't just see your GPA or maybe one or any other indicator. They have a number of indicators, such as, for example, they'll consider your projects. Maybe your GPA is not good enough. That's okay. But what if you have good projects? What if you have good research? What if you have good internships? So, because of the holistic approach, and it is something which is considered globally, but maybe there are some universities which don't. But Fudan, they have holistic approach, and that's why I went with it. Third thing is Fudan has a culture and it has an influence, not only in China, but also abroad. Because I was also checking out some other countries and applying there, and very repeatedly I would see Fudan students there. So that's when I thought, okay, why not let's just go for Fudan. After that, talking about the holistic approach, my GPA wasn't the brightest. It was barely above 3, but yeah, I had a number of projects. Second thing is, in China, mostly PhD candidates are preferred over masters, and there are limited number of seats. But at Fudan, that's not the case. If you're competent enough, you'll get through. You'll be preferred over any other candidate. So another thing is, because I'm here, there might be some influence, or maybe I'm biased. So yeah, that could also be a thing, right? But the truth is, I also got accepted into Shanghai Jiao Tong University, but I gave up the admission there and I chose Fudan. So regarding scholarship, there are two scholarships here. My program was offered in phase two, and I could only apply for a CSC scholarship, and there was only a chance to apply for one university for CSC. So it was very crucial for me to choose which university I want to go to, and I went with Fudan at that time, and I'm happy that I made that choice. So talking about the faculty, how is the faculty like? How is my experience with them? Well, talking about my supervisor and other professors and my interaction with them, they stand by you as if you're their own child. They really care about you. Another thing is, if you prove your worth, you'll enjoy here a lot. If you know that you have got it in you, you can do projects, you're good at your work, you'll really have a good time here. Then about the staff is really friendly and they are very keen to connect with you, but you have to know that they will not bend the rules for you. So this is something important because some of you will be applying here. Don't miss the dates. If there's a deadline, don't expect them to change it. It's gonna stay there. There's nothing that's gonna change for a single student. So you have to meet those deadlines. You have to do everything in time. Then how are the students, like the fellow students? Extremely friendly. I'm talking about the Chinese students. International students, of course, most of you will be familiar with them. Chinese students are extremely friendly and keen to know you. They like to try different foods. That's something they really crave. Then there's sort of a negative reputation, which when I came in the start, they were like, yeah, they may not be as friendly. But then I realized that an unwelcoming behavior. Once you get to know them, once you are keen to be with them, they'll really connect with you. And for me, I can easily say that my best friends here are actually Chinese students and they are not international students. And lastly, if you can cook and play badminton, Chinese love these two things. So you'll make a lot of friends here. All right, let's talk about my application. This is okay, this is true about Fudan, but this is true about all the universities that you'll be applying for, whether in China, whether abroad. So when you're creating your resume, don't miss any aspect of your life. If you have done something academic or extracurricular, mention it. Don't think that, oh, maybe you're from computer science. Why are you mentioning your experience and your internship at a medical hospital? Just mention it. It's okay. Then write your recommendation letters in collaborations with professors based on real life stories. Students, what they do is they just download a generic letter and get it signed. It will say, oh, he's a really good student, he's awesome, he has many medals. That doesn't really tell who you are. You have to write anecdotes, you have to write stories, you have to write what you did. Then we have personal statement, a very important aspect. So in personal statement, I would highly recommend to write what you have achieved, not what you think. I'll come to this point later and I'll say it in detail. About the study plan, you don't need to worry about it much. You just need to have a basic idea of what you want to do in future or something close to it. Professors here, they will guide you after you have been admitted. Then about switching your field, some of students, they have question like, oh, I'm from psychology major. Should I apply for computer science? Yes, definitely. You should. Actually, Geoffrey Hinton, we call him the father of AI. Basically, he is a psychologist, but he went into computer science. So there's no limit here. But of course, it's not like you can just directly go for computer science. You have to show, or some other, you have to show some interest. You have to show that, okay, this was your interest, you did something for it. Then add as many relevant documents as possible that show your worth, that show your prove your worth. And then, so I'm coming back to that point that, and it's a really blunt tip. I won't be nice about it. Nobody at any institute cares about how passionate or motivated you are. Like, for example, when I was writing my personal statement, I could say that I want to build a Fudan campus on Mars. But will that be true? It is ambitious, but it's not really true. It's not something achievable, at least for now. So, in personal statement, write what you have achieved, that you have done XYZ. You had interest in, let's say, computers. You had tried to build a computer. You had to try to fix these computers, something like that. So that's how you create your personal statement. This is the most important aspect, I would say. So again, personal statement, write what you have achieved and what you want to do with what you have already achieved. Okay, this is a snippet from my personal statement, and you can take a look, but I have highlighted, I built this, I built that, I worked on this, I worked on that, and also tangible result, I filed a patent, then I designed this system, I designed that system. So this is how you have to go. And this is my recommendation letter. So basically, I claimed a few things, but how would somebody know that is he actually saying the truth or lying? So recommendation letter really strengthen your application. They coming from a professor, it really tells, okay, this student has it what it takes. This is my second recommendation letter. You can actually screenshot it if you would like, but of course, you can't just copy directly. But overall, the idea is to write what you have already done. So everyday life as a student after coming to Fudan, how is my life like? So before I move into that, all of these photos are from my own gallery. These are not taken from the internet or anywhere. I just took them from my own phone. So this is our main campus. This is the photo you might see on the university webpage as well. It's the law building. Then I think one of these photos is from the first few weeks, and this is how our campus is like. And then on the left, you have the cafeteria and the gym. Next to that is cafeteria. Then I often go playing badminton with my Chinese friends. And then again, another photo of the campus. These are the lecture halls and classrooms. And as College of Future Information Technology in my department, the program which is being offered Most of your half of your professors are actually from Finland, so they come here, they teach some courses. And by the way, there are actually two programs in electronic information. One is you have to go to Finland for to get a double degree for 1 semester, and other one is you can just stay at Fudan and get your degree there. But yeah, your professor, they could be also from Finland, they could also be from China. These are the dormitories, and yeah, you have to do your own laundry. It's just automatic. You throw your clothes in and get them back. So also Fudan arranged a trip last year, and that's where we went. You can see like the student, one of them is from Pakistan, one from Niger, one from Nepal, one from Maldives. So that's how it is, the international culture. Then also I told you I have Chinese friends and I really like to hang out with them, and they love to take me on trips and I love to go with them. We went to a place called Anhui and it was amazing. So okay, I think I might actually I think the video is not being played, but okay. So this is my department and our school. We also 3D print few things just for fun. And then again, the school building School of Future Information Technologies. Photo is old actually, and because now the name has been restructured. Then life at Handan campus, where you will have your dorms. There's the Fudan metro station. There's the Gonghwa Towers, a view from the dorms. Then there are some activities and events going on. Cooking, the best part. Yeah, we do cook a lot here because sometimes you miss your home and the food there. So yeah, you can always Fudan provides. Actually, we have really good kitchens here to facilitate students. Laboratory, the main part. Yeah, this is our main lab here where we have, so for material science students, I can tell you we have almost all the equipment we can ask for. And if there's some equipment missing, we can just ask our professor and get it. I hope this video could be played. It's a video of my lab, but I'm not sure. I think this video isn't being played, but it was from the lab. Then life in China, we often go hang out, and there are some museums, parks, and so many other places for sightseeing. Then the Shanghai itself. Then one more thing I wanted to talk about is recently I've started my research and how Fudan facilitates its students. Basically, I built a drone just for fun. And while I was building it, my professor saw it and said, You're building a drone?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why not put the memristor into them?" Memristor is basically next generation of chips we are working on. And I was like, "Oh, that's a great idea." So I thought maybe the professor is not serious. He just thinking about, but recently it has become my actual project, which I'll be doing for my thesis. So that's how supportive professors are. They don't want you to just go all in and just cram your mind and fill it with things. They want you to experiment. They want you to try. If you have something, if you know that you have got it, or you do something, you have your interest, they'll curate the project according to you. And also you get plenty of funding. I know most of you will be applying for CSC scholarship and it has funding of 3,000 yuan. But being very honest with you, most of times I spend 4,000, 5,000 yuan a month from professor because they provide us the funding to build circuits, whatever research equipment we need. And it's very important for research students. So that's a really positive for you. So lastly, I would say, what advices do I have for future students who will be applying here or at least even in other universities? Make sure to present your application well. Thinking is the hardest thing in the world, and you have to make sure that you sit and think for days, keep improving. Make sure you have a good application which you're comfortable with. I had a really good resume, but some of the professors at universities, they literally brought up my sports before they brought up my academic credentials. And that's something that was surprising to me. So they do care about, if you have good repertoire, do use it. Give your best and don't worry about anything if you cannot change the future or your destiny. So it's okay. You can just present yourself in the best way possible and leave the rest. Also, do have backups, apply for multiple universities. It's recommended. Okay. Contacting professor prior to application can be very beneficial. I saw previously students were asking for a list of emails. I know it's easy to ask for a list and you can just get a list, but it's better if you just go to school, the website of the school, check out the faculty, check out their projects rather than just writing like if you get a list of 20 professors, you copy the same email to all of them. How would you know that are they even relevant? So it's better to go to school website, check the school, check the professors, and this is same across the board for all schools, all universities. Then be proud of who you are. If you get accepted or rejected, it doesn't define you as a person. The admission process is also rigorous and slow, and once the application has been submitted, stop worrying about what's going to happen next. Just focus on your life. Then the admission process is long. Make sure you remain productive. And one more thing I wanted to say, it came to my mind just a few minutes ago. Uh, Fudan is a really high ranked university, so students are kind of scared. Like, wow, what if Fudan rejects us? I would give you a litmus test. Grab the top 5 universities of China from QS ranking and then all the universities that are below that. And go to their ISO website and check the number of scholarship seats they have. Check the number of accepted students. So I think if I don't remember correctly, Fudan had like 250 seats or something for CSC. I'm not sure. This is unofficial, by the way, and you can check it yourself. And maybe 150 or 200 seats for China, for the Shanghai Government Scholarship. But other universities, I can assure you, they have like 50 seats or less. So compare 400 seats to 50 seats. You have a really high chance of getting accepted here, and you can thank me for this tip. And that's all about it. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can ask me.